Chapter 4 is looking at crime and social control. And there are several facts about crime throughout the world. There's no country without crime. Most countries do have police, courts, and prisons. Adult males comprise the largest category of crime suspects. Theft is the most common crime worldwide, and of course, violent crime is relatively rare. The United States has one of the highest homicide rates in the world. Now, I want to briefly go over the structural functional perspective in sociology. According to this perspective, crime is functional for society because it strengthens group cohesion. People tend to develop solidarity when they come together to express outrage over criminal violation. Just to give you an example, it certainly is a catalyst for social change. But there are two theories that you will see on your exam, the strain theory and the control theory, and I want to briefly go over those with you. The strain theory was developed by Robert Merton, and he uses Emil Durkheim's concept of anomie. Anomie is just another term for normlessness. But according to this theory, when legitimate means, such as getting a job, of acquiring culturally defined goals, such as making money, are limited by the structure of society, the resulting strain may lead to crime. Individuals must adapt to the inconsistency between means and goals in a society that socializes everyone into wanting the same thing but provides opportunities for only some. Conformity occurs when individuals accept the goal of their culture and the socially achieved means of achieving that goal. Class, this is the only one that is not deviant. Okay, if you have conformed, then you are not deviant. Innovation occurs when individuals accept societal goals, but they reject or lack the socially legitimate means of achieving those goals. It is the most associated with criminal behavior. It explains crime among the poor. Take, for example, class, Miss Martha Stewart. She had a goal, but she didn't go about society's approved way of achieving that goal. She was an innovator. Ritualist occurs when individuals accept a lifestyle of hard work, but they reject the cultural goal of monetary rewards. Retreatist involves rejecting cultural goals and socially legitimate means of achieving it. The retreatist withdraws from society and may become an alcoholic, a drug addict, or a vagrant. And then rebellion occurs when individuals reject culturally defined goals and means and substitutes new goals and means. Now, the control theory by Travis Hirschi argues that a strong social bond between individuals and society constrains some individuals from violating social norms. And there are four elements of the social bonds. One is attachment to significant others, commitment to conventional goals, involvement in conventional activities, and belief in the moral standards of society. The conflict perspective, according to them, deviance is inevitable when two groups have unequal power. Social inequality leads to crime as means of economic survival or expression of anger. And of course, it is those that are in power that is going to define what is criminal, and these definitions reflect the interest of the ruling class. Now, under symbolic interaction, we have the labeling theory, and this argues that social groups create deviance by defining certain actions as criminal or deviant. Acts are not intrinsically deviant. You need to know the difference between primary deviance and secondary deviance. Primary deviance is deviant behavior that's committed before a person is caught and labeled as an offender. And secondary deviance is deviance that results from being caught and labeled. So once a label has been applied, then it becomes secondary deviance. Now, deviant labels can dominate social identity, which does lead to further deviant behavior by denying opportunities for non-deviant behavior. And of course, the individual may also internalize the deviant label. Now, there is one more theory that I want you to be familiar with, and that is differential association. It was by Edwin Sutherland. According to this theory, individuals learn criminal value techniques and motivations for criminal behavior through social interactions. Certainly those that are exposed to more definitions favorable to law violation than unfavorable are more likely to engage in criminal behavior. And let me say that the media can also play a role. And more recently, video games are certainly of particular concern. Now, there are many different types of crime, but what you need to know is the FBI's 8 index crimes. These are considered to be the most serious crimes in the United States. We have what is known as vice crimes. Class, this is where there is no apparent victim. You're not causing any harm to anyone but yourself. Some examples would be gambling, prostitution, and things of that nature. Now, violent crime includes homicide, assault, rape, and robbery. And then we have other types of crime, such as larceny, and all this is simple theft. It accounts for more than 2/3 of all property arrests and is the most common index offense. Burglary, arson, and class automobile theft also fits into this category, but it's considered to be a felony, not so much a misdemeanor. There's some more different types of crimes that I'm not going to cover. You do need to know what a status offense is. Certainly, these are violations that can only be committed by a juvenile. For example, underage drinking, truancy, running away from home. If these offenses were committed by an adult, it would not be considered a crime. But children under 18 are certainly handled by juvenile courts as status offenders or delinquent offenders. Now, looking at some demographic patterns of crime, and I want to mention gender in crime. Women everywhere are less likely to commit crime than men. Females, especially juveniles, are more likely to be arrested for running away. I always make the joke that women start running away at an early age and they continue through life. As far as age in crime, criminal activity is more prevalent among younger than older people. The highest arrest rates are for people under the age of 25. As far as race, social class, and crime, race certainly does impact who gets arrested. Minorities are disproportionately represented in official crime statistics. Region in crime, it seems like crime rates, particularly violent crime, is higher in the metropolitan than the non-metropolitan areas. And of course, I want to say that crime rates vary by region of the country. Violent crime is particularly high in the South. Crime and victimization. Women are much more likely to know their offenders. Poor households experience more violent crimes than wealthy households. Violent crime victims are typically young, anywhere from the 16 to 19-year-old age group, non-white. Weapons are used in most violent crimes. As far as the cost of crime and social control, homicide is the second most common cause of death among the 15 to 25-year-olds. As far as the economic costs, certainly there's a list here of some of the financial cost of crime. It can be classified into at least 6 categories. But make sure you know the economic cost of corporate crimes, which is called crimes in the suites, is higher than the economic cost of all the crime index offenses combined. Looking at the social and psychological costs, certainly fear depends on individual perceptions of crime. Despite the continuing decline in crime rates, public perception is that crime has increased.